Hello, Roland from EPLAN Canada. Let's talk about two services we do here in Canada with the Rittal Application Center. The first, of course, is this one here that I like to talk about a lot, is actually how to land your wires within 1 minute when we print the wires on one of these machines here. So the idea, of course, what typically takes a certain time will now be reduced by half the time. So technically what we're doing is we are taking over the wire preparation and the mechanical preparation, which is drilling and cutting. You still just do the assembly of the components, the assembly of the wires. Now this joint service is done together with Rittal. The service, we call it here the Rittal Application Center, and this is where we do the drilling, of course. Talk to your Rittal people, they talk about the Rittal, the drilling portion, we talk about the wire prefabrication. How this all works is basically the usage of EPLAN enables us to do this because number one, as you know, EPLAN does on one side handle very well the schematics, but of course you can find other tools to do schematics. Now, interesting is that every one of these components that you see here in these schematics is somewhat tied back to a 3D component inside your panel. So technically what we do is we have the 3D as well as the schematics, and they talk to each other. So on one side, we can do the routing automatically, and this is really something that is really, really well done in EPLAN because without having too much to do, all your components that you pick up from the data portal, which is also provided by EPLAN, data portal that is actually filled by the manufacturers with as well the commercial information as well as the mechanical information of the components. It also comes with connection information, which actually allow us to do these connections. So let's drill a little bit deeper into it and let's talk about this. Let's take a look at just the components on the backplate if we zoom in a little bit. So if I double click on any of those components, you can see these wires that actually come out there. They actually come out through the information that is provided by the component itself and the connection point pattern, which exactly tells me where a specific type of connection is actually to be connected. So here we can see all the details, min, max, screw connection, what size of wires. This is all actually provided by the manufacturer. Now, this enables us to actually calculate the wire length. So every one of these wires has now a specific length, and this length can be now pre-cut. We also know what is at the both ends, right? Because we know it's a screw connection, so based on what we typically use, like a ferrule, we will know what it is. And how does it know actually where to go? Well, the routing that is there is, of course, the source and target is provided by the schematics. So if I actually click on this component and go to counterpiece, which is a super cool feature because it will show you in the schematics where that particular component is. It will actually show you also at the same time where we take our information from and where the wires actually originate from. So it's a super cool feature to see, and you can also see that based on the type of wiring that we have a certain filling. Now, if we put the components aside and we just focus, let's say, on, let's say, the doors or something like that, you can see that on the doors we have some components, and those components, of course, have, when they are placed here, they have some specific, what we call manufacturing data. So it's hidden inside each of these parts information. So when the manufacturer actually provides us with the parts, by magic, they also give us some manufacturing data. So the manufacturing data is nothing else than, in this case, it's a particular outline or it's a cutout that tells us exactly what we have to drill to actually place this component. Something that you can quickly see here when you say view, drilling view. You will see these reddish circles there or shapes. Kind of hard to see, but you can see that they turn on and off, right? This is basically what is assigned as a drill information. Now, if you want to make sure, if you take the EPLAN Canadian template that we share with you, You have a section here that is, of course, for manufacturing. In this section here, the kitting, the cutting. Inside the cutting area here, if you actually drill in, you will see everything that is there for and to be cut, right? Like ducts and rails. In this other section here for the drilling, we typically will show you all the drillings, and even with a detailed view of individual holes or threaded holes or shapes that have to be placed in certain areas. You can see them here. And if we actually focus on the particular door, you can see all the different shapes or holes. Here, these are shapes for these different devices. And you can see when it says, of course, a drilled or user-defined outline, it is one of these outlines that you see there. Now, how do I make sure I'm not missing any? Well, there is a page a little bit further down here. If we focus, this is a door. You will see here, this page here also has the doors as is, but like in a real form, shape, format, right? This is for the assembly. So let's do a simple copy of this view here, and let's bring it into this view, and let's just superpose it here. So I'm just going to paste it back in here and just place it here. So it might be a little bit bigger, so it's kind of not obvious to see one-to-one, but here you can actually look at the so-called scale 1 to 10. So why wouldn't we take this guy here and make it also as a manual scale as 1 to 10? This way it's going to be a lot easier to actually compare the two of them. One being the view of the components. I can bring it over here if I want to. And now you can very well see, okay, I have this one here, this is good. This one here is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down there. And this is the fan. Cool. Now you see that all your holes are there. If one of those would have an outline missing, or eventually you have an object but doesn't have a manufacturing data, you would see it would be missing here. So it's a quick visual comparison to, I placed a component, that component has indeed a manufacturing data that has either a hole, a rectangle, or like in this fan here, it's actually more complex because it's a rectangle and 4 holes, but you can see it, it's there. So by doing this quick visual view here, you make sure that when you send this project, simply here through the eCloud data management, eManage, you send it over to your colleagues at RAC. So it could be Brian, could be Jonas, I'm not sure what email they will give you. If you work with the wireprint.com, we'll ask you to actually upload the project here to eManage. And once it's actually on eManage, let's say we take one of these projects just as an example here. I take one of, let's go into a real-time project. So let's say I take this project here. What I would do is on your side, once it's uploaded, you share it with the external user, and it could be, in my case here, if you want the drilling or in particular the wires to be sent to wireprint.com, use jung.r, my personal email, at eplancanada.com. Just add it here, and I will be pinged a small email that it is receivable here and that you shared something with me. As an example here, I can go to external. For instance, here, these are companies that actually shared some projects with me, and I can see the different projects they shared with me. And there we go. These are the projects. I can then simply take it and download it. It's super easy. And then I can open exactly the project that you have. I can then, of course, in my case, look at the different routings. I will often even generate a specific file that will tell me, okay, these are the wires, you know, that you routed, and we have them on the machine, on the EPLAN WT, and I can tell you right away, we have that much here in value for all your copper and wires, because I calculate basically based on the length that is required, what the cost is per meter. So I have here $192 in this particular project of wire sum, and the preparation at this point in time can vary, but here it's all calculated. So very quickly, I know what it is. I just take it, And in my case, similar to what we do at the RAC, we take this machining, we send it to the BC or LC, depending on which Perforex we want to drill on. Here at the wire terminal, we just pick here the wire terminal, we take these wires, and we just generate the file. And by doing so, basically what I'm doing is I'm just sending out the data like a printer. I have here 59 wires that were exported. 113 could not be exported because either too large or too long or whatever. And these are then the wires that I can send out to the machine, and they will then be printed, prefabricated, and within 48 hours, they are shipped to you. Now, on the RAC side, on the Rittal applications side, depending on the period in the year, it may take a little bit longer than 48 hours because they have a little bit more physical work to do in there. Because when they actually send this, or you send this to be exported to the machining here to the Perforex, they have to go and get the part, of course, put it on the machine, unpack it, pack it, clean it up. There's a little bit more work involved. On the WT, on the Wireprint, there's not that much work involved other than printing it, waiting for the machine to do its work. And for those of you who are interested, just call us here at EPLAN. We will help you manage these prefabrication of wires. If you need pre-drilled panels, just talk to your Rittal people, and it's always the same thing. You take your project, you send it over to data management, eManage here. You share it with whoever it is. Rittal is usually rac@rittal.com. That's one. Rittal.ca is another email. Jonas and Brian are two other individuals that actually take your projects. And on this side here, on the EPLAN side, you just share it primarily with jung.r@eplancanada.com. We can also share it with other users, Jacob or David, and they can then forward me the project and we can handle it. So it's a very, very quick thing to do. I hope this video helped you learn something out of this. Feel free to contact us. The idea at the end of the day is we want you to just be that much faster, right? So if you can and you want to take your production time and reduce it by half, like what we're showing here, by us having the wires prepared and the panels prepared, give us a call, EPLAN Rittal Canada. What we want you to do is focus on the assembly and promise when you get a wire from our side, you are just landing it in 1 minute or less. Take a chance. We'll help you out. Thank you. This was Roland from EPLAN Canada.